Well, hello there. Welcome to a random happy hour.
Yes, where we are streaming live straight into the US of A.
Well, we're actually streaming live everywhere, Kylie.
Oh, well, you
It's
know.
not just the US. It's happy hour. You can tell because I'm happy.
Yes.
We're not just streaming live into any particular country. We're streaming live.
Yeah.
Whatever time it is for you around the world. Hello and welcome to Wildfire Tribe Happy Hour. I see that you've designed a new logo, Kylie, that's basically, it looks like what for truck, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a play on symbols because that's just what life feels like sometimes. WTF. And yeah, Wildfire Tribe is WFT, and we are inviting you into the conversation.
What is Wildfire Tribe? What is it about? Why is it a tribe? Why is it wildfire? What is it?
Well,
what have you created here?
I think that when we first began this, we were like, well, this is like igniting the fire within each one of us. So we're wanting to expand your capacity for the more that when you begin this journey with God, you feel like that what you have encountered is this understanding that there is more, that there is more love, that there's more life, that there's more fullness, that there's more of everything that we ever believed there could be, but we just never knew how to find it. We didn't know how to tap into it. We didn't know where it even came from. So when each one of us was born, in the beginning, there was this spark of light that went off within us that said, you have become, you're here, you're landing on the earth right now. And within you is this burning desire to be connected to the fullness of who you always were before the beginning of time. And that little spark, that is the beginning of the wildfire. So the Wildfire Tribe is all the little sparks coming into the knowing that there's more and that we're journeying together. We're not building some big group that everybody has to join, but we're actually just encouraging everybody in their uniqueness, their little fire that's burning within them.
So Sean and Kylie, who are on the screen now,
yes,
are like the people that created the Wildfire Tribe, and we are not, as a couple, trying to get people to join our gang. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're just trying to encourage it, like everybody in their unique expression of walking into the mysteries of God.
And so if anybody listens to this happy hour, the podcast that we do, they visit our website, etc., they get involved, they start seeing us around the place, what is it that they are stepping into when they step into our whatever it is that we're doing here? Because I know for me, whenever I've been around God people, in church environments and ministries and those sorts of things, it always feels like they're trying to get you to go to their church, or, if it's a ministry that has something going on, that you become a part of that. And then the next thing is, oh, by the way, can you support us? Can you give to us financially so that we can survive? Is that what we're building here?
Well, 10 years ago, he pulled us out of all of the traditional expressions of community, and he took us on this wilderness journey where we literally walked into outback Australia. We journeyed on this years and years journey of walking out life, separated, I guess, from what we understood as healthy community that we were meant to be journeying with. And we did that because he was calling us into those places where we could discover that everything we were searching for was found within us in this beautiful, sweet dance with the Trinity that each one of us could do on our own. And with all of the other kind of expectations, all of those things that we feel like are upon us when we're showing up in his name, that we began to discover this raw, earthy, authentic walk with him where everything was laid bare. And I think out of that place, we realized there is nowhere where God isn't.
Yeah, so I guess maybe whilst I'm talking here, you can turn on your phone there and see if there's any comments coming up on yours. Just we're still having technical issues, but overall, we think that everything's right. We think that you're seeing what we're seeing on our screen. And so if you're watching us and you have the ability to comment, can you just comment on whatever device it is that you're using, and we'll see if it shows up on our feed. Don't bump those leads there, please.
Mm-hmm.
So whilst we're trying to iron out those technical things, so what I was understanding of what you were just saying there was that because we've walked the path that we've walked in our God experience of the wilderness walk a lot of the time, even though we've had each other the whole time, we've also walked a path with God of feeling like he is our everything, because he actually is our everything. Because there's been lots and lots of times where there hasn't been Christian community, there hasn't been places where we've felt like are our place to attend regarding church or fellowship, you know, in that Christian language that's used. So therefore, we spend a lot of time doing the God walk on our own. So coming from that place, we have formed this Wildfire Tribe in the understanding that there's people that are also walking through their lives who may be doing that mainly on their own, or wondering if there is a community for them, wondering where there's some more information for them that they can source some of the ideas that they're having that they think are possibly true. So we've formed this to help people who are on the walk that we used to be on and are still on, who are not finding themselves necessarily comfortable in a fellowship or a church environment that have everything that they need within that package. So we're just trying to help people understand what it is that we actually do, so that you know that what we're about and why we're here and why we do what we do.
Yes.
There's lots of things that we offer the world. We actually scoop up pieces of creation and we co-create with God and present co-creation to the world.
Yes.
So happy hour is one of them. We actually have happy hour at 8 p.m. Sydney time on a Monday night regularly, but this is a random happy hour because we just felt like we're allowed to do whatever we want to do, and we want to be happy during this hour or however long this is for. And so we put on our happy shirts and our happy glasses, and we're bringing some happy joy to your time, hopefully, just discussing the mysteries of God. So have you got something that you're wanting to share, that you think that you could share, that you want to talk about? If you, the listener, has, please type in comments. We still haven't had any comments come up, so it could just be a technical issue. But otherwise, I'm sure Kylie has plenty to talk about. She usually does.
Yeah, I know. I'm in like a wellspring of conversation. Well, I felt like today, it just really, following on from that, that journeying into the wilderness places with God, like when you feel like everything you ever knew about him and the communities that you've been walking with him, they're all of a sudden, they're gone. And you're finding yourself in this place where you feel like God's taking you into spaces that, one, you stayed away from before, and also, two, that people within traditional church settings, I guess, are afraid for you. They're like, I don't know if that's going to be safe for you to go out there where there are no churches. I don't know if this is a good idea. and you're in that space of people being genuinely concerned for the way that you're walking. So I feel like that in that place, we just want to encourage you that I remember one of the first nights that we were on this great journey and we were walking into this place of the great unknown, and we were camping out under the stars in the middle of the Northern Territory. And in this place, I remember seeing, just camping on top of our car, lying underneath the stars, and having that sense of how big God was. Like he had brought us into this place where there was great concern that we were moving from under the covering, that we weren't actually being protected anymore. And there we were lying under the stars in the Northern Territory in this great expanse of feeling like, oh my goodness, we're in this limitless universe under this beautiful blanket of stars, lying next to the mysterious and wonderful God that is our Father. He's taking us on this journey into the unknown. We've said yes. And it's beautiful. And right there before us, we saw like 1 billion stars, like a sky filled with more stars than not. And it was this moment for me where I just felt like everything's going to be okay, because there is nowhere we can go where God isn't. He is everywhere. He is within me. He is outside of me. Everything outside of me is within me because it's all within him. And we're on this great journey of expansion where we're getting rid of all of those old ways of believing and thinking and living and all of those ceilings that we have in our thought process, in our mind, in our theology, these ceilings of theology that are not allowing us to step into the expansive, mysterious walk that God's drawing us into. So, yeah, I guess like we're wanting to encourage you in that place. And today I was kind of resonating too with this whole thing about time, that we're walking in such a time-governed culture and world with a timeless God, with a God who actually lives outside of time. He is beyond both space and time. And this beyond space and time dwells within us in this ever-flowing river of life. And we're like trying to contain that in some kind of like parameters of hours and minutes and seconds. Like it doesn't kind of fit in.
Yeah, or trying to contain what you feel like it is that you have to offer the world within what has already been done, what everybody tells you is sensible to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like perhaps the answers that we're searching for are within us, within him, in the heavenly realms, and we don't even know what they are yet. We haven't experienced the fullness of even the concept of what these ideas are.
Possibly. I'm just fiddling with some tech stuff and trying to get our screens to work properly. This is all relatively new for us. So welcome to you who are listening to us and watching on Happy Hour. Thank you for joining us. If you're able to comment, that would be fantastic, and we'll be able to see if the comments come up on our screen or not, because we haven't managed to be able to get all that happening properly just yet. But there is a comment from a listener or a watcher, a viewer. His name, what's he said?
Oh, Sean says that Sean looks spectacular.
Sean looks spectacular. Thank you, Sean Henderson, for commenting right there.
You can see why it's a laugh a minute in my household.
That's a nice thing for him to say.
It is. He's a very nice man, that guy. I love this. I thought I would just throw in it like a little bit of a Bible verse in this theological discussion.
That's right, because it's a Christian thing.
Well, not necessarily. So this is from Ecclesiastes. He has made everything beautiful and appropriate in its time. He has also planted eternity, which is a sense of divine purpose in the human heart. So within us is this sense of divine purpose that we find ourselves walking out our life trying to discover what that is. It's a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except for God. Yet man cannot find out, comprehend, or grasp what God has done, his overall plan from the beginning to the end. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, keep going.
I just love it. So I was thinking of that whole time thing, that we stop rushing. If we just stopped rushing and we just take time to be, which we've been learning, it's not an easy thing when you're used to a very high energy, high timed work. When you're used to all of those things, the way that the busyness of life, it's very difficult to find that time to just be, to just rest and to be filled with this wonder, to allow the very essence of your being to feel loved and to feel seen, like, so that we recognize that we're not running out of time, where we're not having enough time, we're not a slave to time, that time is actually moving with us and through us and around us, and we actually have the ability to be able to govern time, to be able to work with time, and time actually wants to work with us. We can expand it. Because, I think all of us at some point have probably had that experience within time where you feel like this day is taking forever. Like it's like taking so long. Oh my gosh, like it just feels like today goes for like a week. And then you have those other days that just fly and you just go, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's 5 o'clock already. Like, what is going on there? It's like there is this space which time expands and contracts, where it's movable. And sometimes you can get a whole bunch of stuff done in this tiny little amount of time. And then other times it feels like it's just gone by in a minute and you haven't achieved anything at all. So I would challenge you in that space that you start engaging with time and coming out of that place of rest and not stress. So anytime you're feeling stress, just come into that place of rest, which is just like this place of knowing who you are, knowing that everything is okay, knowing that you were created for such a time as this, and not to be overwhelmed in this space, but to actually embrace the fullness of who you are for such a time as this, which is an amazing person. You were created for right now. And to just out of that place begin to realize that in this moment there is enough time. That in this moment you're not going to be late. You're always on time.
That's very difficult when you're busy, Kylie, to remind yourself that there's enough time. It's easy for you to say. What about people that are racing around, dropping their kids at school now on the way to their next appointment? It's so I just wonder about the practicality
You say that because
I'm saying that I'm thinking as if I'm somebody else who's probably listening and watching and going, oh, it's all right for you. Like, you're at home talking on your computer. You've obviously got time. Well, I don't have time to be in that place of peace and rest and joy that you speak of. So how is it that you could possibly give yourself that awareness?
I think it's because I've learnt that in those times. I've learnt that when I've had two little toddlers that I'm getting one ready for school and one ready for preschool. I've had that where we've got to be in this place and that place, and we've got a business and we're running a business, and all these people need me to be at my business doing these things. My kids need me to be over here. My office work is calling me upstairs. I've got all of these things that I'm needing to do and engage with and be in. And the essence of it is that, am I going to lose my joy in the middle of all that? Or am I going to just know that there is enough time for all of these things to happen and unfold? And it's only a practiced journey as I've walked it out that I can speak from this place now and know that the very essence of that place of rest is this place that I have continued to remind myself that I'm seated in that place.
Yeah, so the place of rest is not what that you're talking about, is not like lying down on your hammock and having a rest.
No.
Okay.
It's a seat of governance where everything in my life comes out of this place of knowing who I am, and that I'm created to be a river of life, to be joy and fullness and hope and freedom and life. And as I'm understanding the fullness of who I am in that place, whatever I'm engaged with is just flowing in the essence of who I am. So I'm not being stressed. And this is not to say that I haven't been stressed, because you've worked.
You seemed a bit stressed this morning.
Because you were drilling me. You were like asking me all these difficult questions and demanding answers.
Speaking of questions, if you have any questions at all to contribute within this conversation, then feel free to type them on your phone or your laptop or whatever it is that you're using. And we are still unable, I think, on the whole, to put those on the bottom of the screen. We're still having troubles that way, but we have other devices here where we can possibly see your comments. So feel free to comment and join in the conversation. That's what this is about. This is not a happy hour where you just sit there and listen to what Sean and Kylie are telling you to be true. We actually encourage every single person that we engage with in the God conversation space to have your own experience of God. That is actually the challenge that we put out there to every single person that we come across is, please just don't find yourself in a place of desperateness where you're searching for answers from the God that loves you and be asking everybody else around you for answers and not asking God himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he has created you uniquely to be you uniquely, and he just wants to do life in and through you as well. So this happy hour is just an opportunity to interact about the conversations of God. We also have a podcast for people who don't know. Our website is on the bottom of the screen, wildfiretribe.life, and you can find out about some of the other things that we do. Our podcast, we talk a lot. Obviously, we just talk and talk and talk and talk. And there's not an opportunity within a podcast for people to interact with us. So a part of what this happy hour is to give you the opportunity to interact, to ask questions, to specifically comment about my amazing shirt again and again and again. That will be fantastic. And we also just want to get to know people and help people find answers that they're looking for their lives in the context of God conversations. So is there something that you feel like God is whispering in your ear at the moment? Is he saying, hey, I think it's time that you moved on from that job. I think it's time that you considered not doing that thing, but doing this thing over here. How do you know that it's God telling you? Let's have that conversation. Let's try and help each other understand how to hear him better. Let's interact. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to offer the world. We want to co-create an existence of ours and yours uniquely with the world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, I feel like that is that place of co-creation where we're wanting to frame up a beautiful new future filled with life and love and glory, like all of those, the essence of the nature of God. And I love how it's actually the nature of God. Like it's like almost like the picture that's around our happy hour, like it's like this beautiful place of communion with him, this place in the pastures where we lay by the bubbling brook, where he brings us refreshment and rest in his presence, where we're just in this place of recognizing who we are, that we are light and we bring light to the earth as we come more into the fullness of who we've always been. And that is the essence of what we're wanting to encourage you into, that place of just realizing that we are this beautiful new creation, and that we don't need to fear a future of destruction and horribleness and death, but we're actually, that Jesus died, and in his death, he got rid of death. We don't actually need to come into agreement with death. We're in agreement with life and abundance and goodness and overflow. And I feel like the more of us that come into the revelation that we are living
but
at
isn't
the
it
place
the
of life.
end of the world, Kylie? Wasn't that supposed to be the end of the world like last week?
I think some people had predicted the end of the world on Sunday, actually. Yeah, here we are.
Next Sunday or last Sunday?
We are here.
Next Sunday or last Sunday?
No, last Sunday.
Oh, so I missed that bit.
Yeah, we missed the end of the
So
world.
we might be the left behind us.
Yeah, possibly.
Is there anybody else out there? Maybe it's just us. Maybe there's not much point in broadcasting this to the world, Kylie, if it's just the two of us. If we went outside, maybe we would see that it's just us.
I love it.
Imagine if that happened last Sunday, that the world ended and we were the only two left behind. And
the internet, us and the internet.
Yeah, but it's not going anywhere. But then we could just walk like down the street and there would be just motorbikes everywhere, just not getting used. And you could just hop on whatever bike you wanted and just ride it.
Oh, you would love that. You would so love that.
But I just have to find a really big location where I could just keep them all. I just spend the rest of my days or a part of my eternity.
Just riding bikes.
Just collecting them and bringing them back. So they're all in the one place, like a bowerbird.
I love it. So you were talking before about hearing from God. Like, what are you hearing from God at the moment?
Like right this minute?
Yeah, like right this minute, like, in this.
So what I was sensing this morning with my conversation with God that happens continually, but in that space of in between sleeping where you don't seem to remember anything to that point where you're awake walking down the street. For me, in that space, I try and, so as soon as I'm aware of my awakeness, I just engage intentionally, like, God, thank you that this is another day. Thank you for whatever thoughts or dreams that I was having. I try and remind myself of any dreams that I might have had throughout the night and see if I can make any sense out of my dreams. And so that's what I have been doing this morning. I can't remember any of my dreams from last night, so I don't really have anything to decipher. So I feel like for me today, just in the last hour or so, I've just felt like God's just been moving me towards doing this broadcast. This is not something that was planned. We do have a happy hour planned every 8 o'clock every Monday night, Sydney time, but we didn't plan this. So I would have to say that if I believe that God speaks to me, that he's asking me to do something, that he's guiding me through my existence, that he has got me to do this broadcast at this time. It feels like he wanted me to do this. I came home and I got my happy hour shirt and I put it on and my sunglasses, got the computer.
And then he said to me, I hope you've got something to say.
Well, if God's telling me to do this and you're my partner because your name's up there on the screen as well, then I'm assuming that he also has something for you to talk about.
That's why I'm excited to hear also the profoundness that little seed of something that is in you to share now with these amazing people.
So outside of just turning this all on, making sure that everything works, even though it's not all working, we're still not seeing comments coming up on our screen, but that's all right. I feel like I am in that stage of existence, stage of my life, chapter, where I'm just not really sure what it looks like beyond this time. So, when you're in a business, when you're reading a book, so let's just do this. When you're reading a book, sentence by sentence, page by page, chapter by chapter, you're moving forward to what you assume is an ending, not knowing what it's going to be, good, bad, but there's hopefully some sort of, it's all tied together at the end, unless you're going into a series. My life at the moment feels like that there is no end, which is a good feeling. There's no end, but I'm just reading sentence by sentence, page by page. I don't feel like, I know that I'm coming towards something that's different, but I have no idea what that is. So at this time for me, it's a bit like what you were talking about before with living, in rest, etc., is to just live in that constant communion with the God who created me, and just step out each moment of every day, each day of every week, each week of every month, and you get the drift. Just sensing and knowing that he's with me at all times, and that means that if God is with me at all times, he's in me, I'm in him, then it doesn't matter to me what it is that I think that I should be doing to make an impact in the world, or any of those sort of targets that I might have. I just feel like for me right now that doing exactly what I'm doing is what he has for me. So therefore it must be the right choice.
Yeah.
Do we get to choose what it is that we do in our life? You see, like I saw something on Facebook there a week or so ago about choice, and there's always a comment from somebody in amongst all of these threads of God conversation spaces who is just like, I have no choice. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I think that that's just a bit of an automatic reaction from somebody that feels like they're pressured, who thinks that they don't have choices in life, because there's a multitude of choices with every decision that you feel like is coming. For instance, if you feel like your relationship with a partner is souring and you want to go your own ways, there's a multitude of outcomes of options that you have in that space moving forward. Do you work at staying together? Do you go to counselling together? Do you pray more, worship more, pray for each other, take some time off from your relationship, call it quits, sell the house, divide up the money? There's so many options that sometimes I think that when people say they have no options and they just have to keep doing what it is that they're doing, that it's this pressure they feel like they have on themselves. They haven't got time to even consider that there are other options, and then they need people to tell them what those options are.
And it's difficult too when you're in the middle of those situations where choices that you've made have created almost like walls around you, where you feel like you're stuck in some place. And we've had those times where we felt like we've tried to sell something, we can't sell it, we want to get out, we don't know what else to do. And then there comes this place where you're walking through these difficult situations with God, and you don't want to lose your joy. I think the essence of everything for us has been coming back to that foundation, finding ourselves in difficult situations that we felt like we can't do anything about, and then finding that place of peace, where his peace that surpasses all understanding floats down and filters through our circumstances, so that we come to that place of being okay. And then things begin to change. We can see things with a different kind of perspective that we couldn't see when we became overwhelmed with the things that we couldn't do and the pieces that we couldn't change. And we actually embraced just the now. And I think that's the beauty in where he has us at the moment, is that we can't be thinking too far forward because we don't have much power in that place to change our circumstances, or looking back, questioning things that we've done, questioning our decisions and the things that led us and brought us to this place now. But just actually really being immersed in the now, in the forever now, because the revelation that now is the moment that we have forever. Like, that we never actually get to tomorrow, because when we're at tomorrow, it's now. So it's like this beautiful space of, like what I was talking about before with time, like that we're just in this space of just going,
the forever now.
Yeah, let's make this moment always amazing wherever we are. And am I going to choose to be miserable because I'm overwhelmed with the things I can't do next week because I don't have enough money to, or the things that I can't do, or
So you get to choose to be miserable or not?
I think so. Yeah, I think that there is an element of choice in that, because even in the most difficult situations that we're facing, great grief and loss and great places of hardship and frustration, and even, relational issues that have been like this great divide in where we just completely don't see. We're not even on the same page. We're not even reading the same book.
Yeah, because that's that external circumstances discussion, isn't it? If you allow external circumstances to govern the way that you feel about yourself, your circumstances, your relationship with God, then your relationship with God, your identity, who you are, who you believe you are being governed by something outside of what we would call the reality of who we are.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about that place of rest, peace, contentment, walking in union with God, if that is your reality, that at all times right now, that you know that is true, that he is your creator, that he is in you and you're in him, then the external circumstances don't have much effect.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel like
that doesn't mean that they're not happening,
no,
they're not true,
no,
that they're not a reality somewhere in the world. Your dog just got run over, in front of your eyes. Did that really happen? Well, let's just say that it did happen. You saw it with your own eyes. Now you're dealing with that. You've got emotions to process. But does that change your thoughts around how much God loves you? If that does change your relationship with him, then how do you process that? How do you come to a place of understanding that those external circumstances outside of you don't change your relationship with him?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Do you do that one-on-one with God? Do you need community? Do you need somebody to talk to? Do you need somebody to process things with? We're all created uniquely, aren't we? Because, even just looking at this screen, it's quite obvious that you and I are created uniquely. I have...
You're going to say you have all the style.
Yeah, something like that.
So
the way we process things and the way that God has created us to do life as unique beings is where I was going, I think, with that, was that if you're a person that likes to do life within a community, then do life within a community. Like if God's created you for that, for that interaction with people, and that's how you process things healthy, etc., then do that. There's no one-off package for doing life the same way as everybody else, because we know that would be ridiculous. Why would God create us differently to do life the same?
Exactly. And I feel like that's one of those things that we want to really encourage, is just this place of coming through and being encouraged in your unique walk with God. Like when we were talking earlier about what is Wildfire Tribe? Like, why do we even exist? Are we trying to build something? Like, can you join us? It's one of those spaces where we just want to encourage you on your unique walk, because we know for us that our walk has not been conventional. It hasn't lined up with the teachings of the community, the Christian communities that we have come in and out of over the course of our years of walking with God. And so we were really challenged in that space about learning to hear the voice of God. What does that look like for me? Learning to be empowered in sonship. So you're a son of God. I'm a daughter of God. We walk with our Father. We are the inheritance of all. Our inheritance is all that is His. So what does that mean? Like, how do we walk like that? What when we're really used to trying to build our own little empires, when we're really used to being self-made, you know, like we got here on our own, we didn't get any help. You know, like all of this kind of mentality that we have about like this self-made success, and that we've done it through our hard work, you know, that there wasn't anybody else that was involved, there wasn't any luck, there wasn't any chance, there wasn't any kind of, you know, wasn't any other person that was involved or any other opportunity. It was all just, you know, carved out of this place of us. And I feel like this road where He's leading us on is stripping all of that understanding back and bringing us into this very unknown and foreign place of that we are inheritors of the kingdom of God, that we walk with Him in this beautiful place of oneness, that we don't know how to navigate that because that understanding is so foreign to everything that we've ever been taught in our whole entire lives. And we're trying to move forward into this space of all things are possible because we walk with Him, and we don't know what that looks like.
I'm still trying to figure out, like I process things way different to you, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
Like probably a lot slower. I'm not as mature as you. And I even just as you're talking, I'm looking at the banner above my head that says happy hour, and I'm thinking, but I don't look like I'm very happy. I don't feel like I'm very happy. I don't know why the word happy is there. Is this going to go for an hour? Is this going to go for longer than an hour? We're all definitely created uniquely, and that's to be celebrated and enjoyed. So happy hour, you know, the reason why we use this banner, this name happy hour, is because we have a hotel background, a pub background. If you're, I don't know where you're listening from in the world, but in Australia we have hotels that sell alcohol, and we've been in those places a lot in our life. We've owned them, run them, sat in them, enjoyed them, and they generally, well, they do generally, actually, a lot of them do generally have a happy hour.
Yeah.
And it's a time during the day that's assigned, that's called the happy hour, where maybe the prices of the drinks are cheaper, and it is a ploy from the people that run the place to get you to come in at that hour. And in that hour, the intention is that more people would be there, so it would be a happier hour.
Yes.
So that's why we call this happy hour. Is it always going to be happy?
Yes.
Kylie's pretty happy. Look at her now.
Yes, it's going to be happy.
We look like we're happy. We've got happy shirts and happy glasses on,
Yeah.
and we're happy to have you join us. Thank you for joining us. We are still having those issues where we can't, doesn't seem like we're able to put comments up on the screen, but that's okay. We can see some eyeballs are there, so that means people are watching. And obviously this is a live, but a live can also be watched at other times. So for any people there that are new to what it is that we do, who we are called Wildfire Tribe. That's on our logo there on the side of the screen. We have a website which is on the bottom of the screen, wildfiretribe.life. You can find out more about some of the things that we do. We have a podcast. We have a men's gathering on Zoom. We do lots of different things on Zooms with people around Australia and around the world.
Yeah.
We're in the God conversation. We're in the conversation around the mysteries of God. That's who we are. That's what we're about. That's what we live for.
Yeah.
That's our everything. So that's who we are. You can find out links to other things that we do on our website, can't you?
Yep, wildfiretribe.life, which is on the bottom of the screen. Yeah.
And Kylie's got a book, which I do want to talk about regularly. If you've already got the book, you already know how amazing the book is. I have to read the book again. I have only read it once, and I've forgotten most of it, which is strange because the book is really just a slice of our life. So not only have I lived it, I'm in the book, I've read the book, and I still can't remember the book.
Yeah. It's chock-a-block full of like a whole bunch of stories about just walking life out, walking through the difficult things, walking through the things that don't make any sense, walking through the
things that
challenges.
do make sense. It's not all challenges and we don't know anything, is it? Like,
no, because on the other side of that, it is just empowering you in your new now. It's like, what is framing up a new future for my life look like? And it's called the new now. It's like, is there a space?
The book. Yeah, the book is called The New Now.
Yeah. Is there a space for things to be better? Like, can life be better? How do I even begin for that to be my reality, for life to be better? And
you're not doing that life coaching stuff, are you? Like I'm going to sell you a little bit of information, but only a little bit, and then you have to come back another time and I'll tell you some more. That's not what you're doing right now, is it?
I'm just sharing a little bit about my book.
Phew. I just felt like that was about to come.
You're so funny.
I'd said that I was unique, and I'm embracing my uniqueness.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you're embracing your uniqueness.
I don't like being sold stuff.
No. And that's just not what we're doing.
That's what and I want to continue the conversation about what Wildfire Tribe is, not just today, but on and on and on and on and on and on, just so that people can slowly come to the realization of what it is that we are about, because I'm still trying to figure that out for myself, even what it is that we are doing here, why we do what we do, because I don't, we are talking about your book at the moment. We were talking about some of the instances, some of the occurrences, some of the life journey that you've got in that book. And even as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking, that selling thing, we're trying to sell this. And it might be just a me thing, and it probably is, but I just hate it whenever there's God stuff happening, that then there seems like there's this undercurrent of, I'm just about to sell you something, or I'm just about to offer you a special deal that'll take you to the next level with God. And when you get that, then there's this, you feel like you're locked into this place where you're mowing lawns and you're attending all these things every week that you don't know how it happened, and your life is so busy doing God stuff that you sort of don't have time to do God stuff.
You don't have time for God.
Yeah. So now I'm actively involved in serving God and working for God and telling people about God and trying to get people to come to the God meetings that I talk about God at, but I don't know Him. And I just can't. I can't step back into that. I can't allow myself to be a part of the God machine.
And that's the revelation that we have once we pull ourselves away from doing the God things, like as in working for the church or working for, and like, we are not in any way like church bashing in this. We're just helping people to understand the journey that they're on.
See, for me and for anybody that wants to sit and talk about it for a while, most people, if you ask them what church is, will say church is the people. So yeah, we're not people that like bash people with our words or physically or any other way. That's not our heart. Our heart is that we love God, He loves us, and we're called to love all other people out of that place as well. But there are definitely parts of church existence, as in the structure of the church business and the models and the formulas that we've seen and been a part of, etc., that we don't like. So, yeah, on the whole, we're not like church bashing, because the church is the people.
That's right.
And all of the people that we've come across in church environments are different. They're unique, of course. That's how things are intended to be. And in their uniqueness, there's some phenomenally beautiful people that we've done life with, some generous people, some people that have a heart to help homeless, people that have given their lives to serving in other countries in really dire circumstances, like people that have spent years and years and years flying into other countries, building things, etc., you know, from that place of knowing God and wanting others to know him. So absolutely, Kylie and Sean Wildfire Tribe is never about bashing church, because church is the people.
Yeah, that's right.
What's that song from when you're young? That one you do with your hands, open up the church and here is the people, or whatever that thing is. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, like here.
You have to do it on the screen there.
Here is the church, here is the steeple.
Hold your hands up. There.
It's something like, here is the church and here is the steeple, and open up the doors. And
there are the people. That's the one. So it's the people. So that's the people that we love. It's not necessarily the building. Some churches look pretty cool, but don't they? And and a lot of churches, especially in country towns in Australia where we are, have, if they're in country towns, the town's sort of moved on, or the population's not there anymore. A lot of the churches have been converted into houses, etc., as well. So they're pretty cool when it comes to talking about the church. But the church is the people that attend that building.
So where were we going with that? I was going to say something.
I don't know,
cool,
but it doesn't really matter, does it? Because are we supposed to stay on track?
No, there are no tracks. We're like off in the field. You know what it's like when you're rounding up the cows, rounding up the sheep. There's no tracks out there.
I know what it's like to round up sheep, but not cows necessarily. No, I haven't done much of that. I've done a little bit.
Sheep do have little tracks, actually.
What?
You know, when you're rounding up the sheep and then they have those sheep tracks, and sometimes they all just get on the little line and they follow each other.
Yeah, I was thinking I must be watching too much Law and Order lately. Talking about tracks, I think of needle tracks and heroin and stuff like that. Sheep don't have those.
No.
They walk on tracks you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say something inappropriate?
No, I love it. No.
Because if there's stuff that I'm not allowed to say, then I need you to tell me beforehand what it is I'm not allowed to say.
There's no way I would dare to tell you what to do.
Because it's a happy hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Just able to
you just
say anything.
Free-flowing conversation is what we're here for.
So has anybody else got anything to contribute to the conversation? Type it in your comments on Facebook, etc. If you found this live via Kylie Henderson's page or my page, what our intention is over time is to get people to like the Wildfire Tribe page. There's another issue that we have. Our light just went out. So please go to Wildfire Tribe website or type Wildfire Tribe into Facebook in the search. Just don't keep touching that. It's not going to change it. And like our page so that in the future, anytime that we do something, it comes up on our page and you don't keep on, because we want to actually get away from bombarding our regular pages so that people that are more interested in the Wildfire Tribe just find that easily. So like Wildfire Tribe Facebook page, go to our website, wildfiretribe.life, obviously. We just want to round out the hour. I think it's getting towards an hour. We're sitting in the dark now because our lights have let us down. I do want to mention that in November there is a conference in Mildura. So if you're listening
in Australia,
in Australia,
and Gregory, I just saw Gregory. He said he wants to come to Australia.
So Gregory, if I was you, I would be talking to God about coming to Australia. You might have to move forward, Kylie, so you're a bit in that light. See how the light, not like that. So there is a conference in November 2023. For those of you, don't move that one because it's plugged in. And it is going to have Justin Paul Abraham and Nancy Cohen and Shannon Bates, and also a few people from Australia that are phenomenally amazing people who have been walking out their existence with God in the quiet places, who may not be headline name acts like Justin Abraham and Nancy Cohen, but have a plethora of experience and wisdom to share with you as well. So where do you go to get tickets to that event, Kylie?
Yeah, you can go to Hub Without Borders website, which is hwob.au.
There it is, just there.
That has got...
just go to that website and have a look at all that's on offer there. It's an Australian website, and it's, I guess we could say that it's like a Christian mystic community. Yeah, that's what that website is.
Yeah.
And so they are bringing Justin Abraham and Nancy Cohen to Australia, but there's heaps more information available on that website to do with what it is that's happening in Australia, our connections with the rest of the world. Australia is a long, 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 long way from the rest of the world geographically. So was it Gregory that was talking about coming to Australia?
Yeah.
It's, how far is it from the US? It's only, you can do it direct now, can't you?
Yeah, I think so, like 15 hours or something, maybe 13 hours.
Depending on where you're going to. And for those people in the US too that think that the US is big, and it is a big place, Google Australia versus US size-wise, and you'll see there's maps. Australia is about the same sort of size as the US land-wise, but we actually only have 30 million people, and those guys have 300 odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of space in Australia that nobody lives on.
And if you're thinking about moving to Australia, then that's a good idea, but we're pretty full on the East Coast. We're pretty full around the beaches, so if you move into Australia, maybe move to Western Australia. There's plenty of room over there.
Yes, that's funny.
What else have you got for us?
Well, I was just thinking, I had this, strangely enough, it's a Beth Moore quote. And
why is that strange?
She's a Bible teacher.
Don't knock that lead then.
She's a Bible teacher, maybe not what we would necessarily categorize as a mystic.
Right, that's why it's strange.
Yeah. She says, in my morning time with God, I ask him to fill all my hollow places with his lavish, unfailing love. This frees me from craving the approval of others and requiring them to fill up my cup. Then, if anyone takes the time to demonstrate his or her love for me, that's the overflow. I am free to appreciate and enjoy it, but I didn't emotionally require it. So I feel like as you're going about your day, or you're like, if you're in the US, you're just like getting ready for bed, and, you know, you're just finding that place of just stillness, you're breathing, and you're just tapping into what already is, which is your completeness in him. Like, you're not separate from the Creator ever. You're always in oneness with him, and therefore in oneness with all of creation.
Yeah.
So you're finding that sweet place of connection where you're bringing your attention, I guess, into that place of recognizing what already is. Mm-hmm. And then out of that place, you're allowing yourself to be filled from the inside. So as you connect with that space within you, the river of life, which comes from the very center of your being. It's not coming from outside of you. You're actually being filled from within. And that is the beauty of walking with God. And that is the beauty of realizing that you are the river of life. It comes from within you. And as you let it flow and fill all of your being, then as Beth is talking about in that quote, then as we come into connection with others in our everyday walk, that we're already tanked and overflowing with goodness. We are already the essence of the river of life that is flowing from within. And so every connection that we have then is just like the bubble up. It's just like if we meet a person who brings gratitude and wonder and love and is giving that to us, that is just overflowing them because we're already full. We don't actually walking into our day needing the affirmation of others. We're not walking into our day needing people to encourage us in a way where it's filling us up, because we are already tanked and overflowing with his goodness and wonder and glory and love.
That's what we were talking about before, wasn't it? When it comes to like external circumstances governing what it is that you believe about yourself or your relationship with God. If you need somebody else to tell you that you have a relationship with God for you to feel like you do, then it's an interesting process of working out why you need that. Because if you think that that is true, then you've created some separation between you and your relationship with God that doesn't exist.
Exactly.
He's in you all of the time. He never leaves you. He never forsakes you. It's in the Bible.
Exactly.
He is always with you. He always loves you. If you don't feel like he does, then spend some time with him and ask him to show you. Do you love me, God? I feel like you don't love me. I feel like I've done something wrong. Spend an hour, a happy hour. Spend an hour of your day, that you might otherwise do something else. Substitute a happy hour in your day where you actually just lie in your room with some music and talk to God about your existence, your life.
Exactly.
God, am I on the right track? Is there a wrong track? Do you love me? How much do you love me? Why did this event that happened feel so bad? Are you punishing me? Are you trying to show me something? The only way that you can develop a relationship with God is to develop a relationship with God.
Exactly. And then just start to watch the synchronicities happen around you. When you pick up your phone, it'll be 111. When you'll have this crazy conversation, that person will, you'll see someone that you haven't seen for ages, or you'll just be out and a bird will fly past and sing a song. Like there's all these crazy things that start to happen. That
reminds me, this is probably not really a God topic, but somehow it could be. We were walking down the street a couple of weeks ago, just in the town where we live, going to walk our dog, and right in front of us, a young fellow on a push bike was riding past, and in front of us, he just went, ow, and he threw his bike down on the road, and he was really angry and hurt. And what had happened was a bird had flown along and smashed right into the side of his face and dropped down dead.
It was completely dead, hey? It was not even knocked out, it actually died.
It was dead. It was quite a substantial sized bird.
And his face was so red.
It was just like, how random is that? Like in all of the space, in all of the world that bird had to fly, and birds are normally pretty aware of their surroundings, it just slammed right into the side of this young fella's face, a collision.
And then not long after that, there was actually two cars that ran into each other as well.
On that same corner.
Corner.
So now we don't walk on that corner. That could be, and that's one of those mysteries of God, So, for me, when I see something like that, I see a bird slam into the side of someone's head, and then you see two cars run into each other on the same intersection. Is it just the fact that we live close by and we're seeing things happen on that intersection? Is it the fact that there's been two collisions that has the deeper meaning? How do you find out, whether these things have another meaning, a different layer of meaning, a depth of understanding that God's trying to show you something. The only way is by talking to him about stuff.
Yeah.
And you can talk to other people about the mysteries of God and nut things out that way and come to an understanding of how it is that he has an existence in your life. Or you can do it on your own. It just depends, as we've already talked about the unique walk that you have on this planet as to how you go about processing things as well. Yeah. I like our border, Kylie. It looks like we're underwater or something.
I love it.
Looks like we're in a fish tank.
Yeah.
We've got some cool lights behind us. We're now kind of sitting in the dark almost because our front light has stopped working. You keep on bumping the computer and that lead on the side's just about to fall out.
I'm surprised you stayed so composed.
We're really just living on the edge.
Yeah.
We thank you that there's a lot of Christian mystics in the world who are also living on the edge.
Yes. Yeah, come on.
You said to God that we will go where you want us to go.
Yeah.
We will do what it is that you want us to do.
Yeah.
We will actually find ourselves in times of difficulty and not just cry and turn around and go back to the things that we knew.
Yes.
But we're just going to sit and ponder with God why it is that circumstances externally seem to be difficult and work it out with him.
Yeah.
Thank you that there is a world full of people that are in love with God and that are just committed to doing this life with him. And no matter what that looks like, and it's not always externally, circumstantially exciting or joyous, although it can be if you decide that you're committing to that.
Definitely, yeah.
Not committing to doing life with God, but committing to living a life of joy and peace and patience and kindness and all of those things. You can actually do all of those things external to your circumstances.
And those are the fruit of the Spirit, which is like when our spirit man comes into the fullness of who he was created to be, like, and we're fully expanded in that place, then the fruit of that life of wholeness, like our spirit is healthy and vibrant and really connected into the river of life, that then our life is the essence of that river, which is all these beautiful trees of healing growing up on the side of the river, bearing fruit that brings the essence of joy and peace and patience and goodness and fruitfulness and wonder and all of these things into our life. And that is just that is the fruit. That is the thing that just grows upon us almost effortlessly when we know who we are and our spirit man is flourishing in that place of being connected to the river of life. From within.
Wow. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to us on this happy hour. We look forward to having you join us another time.
Yes.
We have a regular happy hour, 8 p.m. Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
That's about to become Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. So let's just call it Sydney time. This was a random happy hour. We probably will do more random happy hours just whenever we feel like doing a random happy hour. We have a podcast. We have lots of other things happening. Find all of that information at wildfiretribe.life is our website. And thank you for joining us today.
Yes, have a beautiful